Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and a member show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA. Looked like I just jumped into my chair then, didn't it? Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. And thank you. Let's go straight into the acknowledgement and thanks and gratitude this morning. Thank you so much to Dr. Dean. Dr. Dean Ramsar, YouTube. I turned on the comments this morning to find that Dr. Dean has become a YouTube member and showing some love over there on the YouTube channel, where just recently we went over 2,800 subscribers. So thank you to each and every one of you, and thanks especially this morning to Dr. Dean Ramsar for becoming a YouTube member. How are you doing this morning? Coach Turner's in, as is Gemini. We'll say a few hellos a little bit later on. I must admit, I have a micro hangover this morning. Didn't have an especially heavy session. How about those of you who went to the Storytellers for lunch? How was it yesterday? I saw a lovely photo, and I think the biggest gathering so far of the last Wednesday. I think it's not the 4th, it's the last Wednesday. Anyway, if you get in touch with me or Gabby, we can point you in the right direction for those wonderful lunchtime meetings that are now something of an institution here in San Martino de Porto. I was out on the beers again. Well, some Imperials, muito Imperiais last night. With the former number 2, who doesn't like a former number 2 first thing in the morning? The former number 2 of the town. It was great to find out more about him, about how local things work and local history. Absolutely great fun sitting and chatting to him over a few beers. Very convivial. I wasn't drunk. It's just sometimes it kind of catches up a little bit by the morning time. Didn't hydrate. I think that was my downfall with last night's drinking. Didn't hydrate immediately, so catching up on that. And talking of which, didn't you a long time ago, Michael, wasn't there a search for the best full English fry-up in Lisbon, I think? Did you ever find that? And it's not going to be of interest to you anymore, is it? But I want to complain about this. You know me; it's not like me to complain. But who do I complain to about this? The world's best breakfast. I'm appalled to see avocado toast on there, which is not a breakfast; it's a craze, isn't it? So if I may just take your comment off the screen. Where is my full English? Never. You see, there you go. On the screen, you can see. A competition that's been decided among these competitors here. And I'm very sad to see that the Portuguese breakfast is not on there. Don't Google Portuguese breakfast. It's quite horrific. There is a version of the Portuguese breakfast, which is some sort of sexual reference, actually, as it turns out, which I do not commend as the best breakfast in the world. I'm talking about the modest cafe nata. And I'm glad to see the full English breakfast on here that we were just talking about, Michael. I could eat that. Talking of micro hangovers, I could eat that massive breakfast from my micro hangover. I also see the full English breakfast there, which are the full Irish, I beg your pardon, the full Irish breakfast, bottom, middle there. And, pão de queijo. Okay, so there's some kind of reference to Portuguese breakfast. I didn't see that before, but that's a Brazilian breakfast, isn't it? Again, which could be a sexual reference. But full Irish breakfast I've had in Belfast, and honestly, I thought I was going to die halfway through. There are so many sausages and so many different kinds of sausages. There's so much to it. I was in a fabulous guest house, and I didn't think I'd make it to the end of the breakfast. There was so much of it, and I was sweating, and my heart was beating, maybe a little bit too much. So I would go for the happy medium. It's not medium, is it? The happy large of the full English. But avocado toast, no, come on. Craze, not breakfast. I don't know what chilaquiles are. I don't know what a repa con huevos is. Michael, you'll know what that is, won't you? The full American breakfast. No, pancakes for breakfast. Pancakes are just once a year as part of my religious dedication, of course, on Shrove Tuesday. The masala dosa, I'd have some of that, but maybe not for breakfast. Although next day I would. Curry leftovers. And the menemene. What is that? What's the Turkish menemenen? I don't know what that is. I would give it a go. A longzy log. Least said about that, the better. and the po, which is the Vietnamese noodle soup, right? For breakfast, again, maybe leftovers for breakfast, but I'd have for me, that's a dinner or a lunch. And I'm appalled. And I want to know do I go to the UN? I guess the UN are quite busy at the moment and they won't be handling complaints about why there isn't a Portuguese breakfast of the humble cafe, an espresso shot accompanied by a hot nata. Who doesn't like first thing in the morning? No doubt, Pete. A po we call it a po, don't we? Not a faux. And yes, and pastel de nata and the galao is my breakfast. My local chicken pie with the galao. That's my second favorite breakfast. My heart does belong to the full English, and we do try and recreate that here. But honestly, I am disturbed. Arepa is a Venezuelan bread. I can't see that on there. Anyway, well, maybe I've missed some comments there. But yeah, appalled not to see the pastel or cafe nata on there. Yeah, do not see if you put capitals. Do not Google Portuguese breakfast. What's everybody going to do? We did warn you. Bom dia Campus. We had a great time at Storytellers yesterday. Oh, good for you. Sorry I didn't pop in for a beer because it's probably quite a good job of the way things turned out yesterday. Avo toast, mate. Avo toast divine with eggs and salmon. It's nice. It's nice. However, not many people actually eat it there for breakfast. Yeah, exactly. It's a snack. It's a craze. It's a hipster thing. But really, it doesn't. I don't think it should make the hallowed Hall of Fame of the world's best breakfast. It's a bit of a foodie theme this morning. Today's news item story is about Portugal's 8 new Michelin stars. Ingredients are great. But what they do with them is often a who's they, Pete? I mean, you're staying in hotels, aren't you? Isn't it great to have a buffet breakfast, full English? It's one of the great things about the British travel lodge, isn't it? Sneak a few sausages out and a serviette. Okay, arepa con huevos is Venezuelan. Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you for being here. Arepa is a Venezuelan bread as well. Pastel de nata and galao. Yes, that gets my vote. Where's a torrada? Where's the old breakfast Jenga? Exactly. Do you know, Pam, I bought the thickest sliced loaf of bread. I bought it because it was the thickest sliced loaf of bread. These slices were about, where are you? There. Were about an inch thick. And it was unbelievable. Given that it was a loaf and it was cut into inch thick slices, there were only 6 slices on the loaf, I think, the way it turned out. Pastel de nata is not a breakfast, but they do serve it in KFC here in Saigon. You're missing out the coffee there, Peter, and maybe a petisco to go with that. You didn't include a Spanish. It's not me. It's no point getting upset with me, Michael Heron. Tostada, jamón, y café, and top left, yeah, okay, the arepa. That is what you're describing as the Venezuelan bread there with eggs. Yeah, I'd give that a go. But really, Pete is worse than me. He is. People say that. It's a matter of public record. All right, let's move on from that hard to bear controversy. Oh, should we talk about Maria biscuits for a moment? Learn the story of the Maria cookie. Now, that's obviously a translation. Please never refer to it as the Maria cookie. It's a biscuit, okay? Please keep that where it belongs. It was the year 1857. It was the best of biscuit years. It was the worst of biscuit years. When 2 English bakers, now we know where this is going, although the second one doesn't sound like an English baker. James Peake, he sounds like an English baker, whereas George Han de Vries does not. But anyway, together they began making cookies, come on, and selling them in a carriage that went around the country. Oh, look, dear, here comes the biscuit carriage. This action ended up making the Peake Friends very well known. 17 years later, the second son, keep up here, everybody, the second son of Queen Victoria, Alfredo, Duke of Edinburgh, married the Russian Duchess Maria Alexandrovna. That's when the bakers of Peake Friends decided to create a new cookie, biscuit, to honor the Duchess. The biscuit was round, had a decorative fringe. Who doesn't like a decorative fringe first thing in the morning? And in the center was engraved the name of the honoree, Maria. Now, wouldn't it be great if you could get is that happened in Portugal, where you could get biscuits with your own name on? It must be easy to do that. 3D printer with biscuit glop in it. British royal weddings attract great interest from other countries. They do, don't they? Not so much lately. And many people wanted to taste the Maria cookies. It didn't take long for the product to begin being imitated, not only in Europe, but even in Japan. How about that? Thank you, Alejandro Montero. And we're going to stay with a foodie theme this morning, but thank you very much from Sabor. Old Flavor. Doesn't sound the most appetizing food website, does it? Some old flavor. That's like when I used to have a beard. That's what that reminds me of, having a beard. Old flavor. Anyway, a nice little graphic, a meme, which will go up on the Portugal Club collection of memes. We'll come back to that. Isn't that fantastic? That's Gold Energy's tribute to the carnivals that are coming. Are you a carnival fan? Not a big fan myself, but anyway. Oh, and last night when I was at the bar with the men's shed, and where are all you men who wanted a men's shed? It was quite a low count last night, body count. Every Wednesday, 7 o'clock at the Casa de Lem, where we are booked for our next party. We'll be having our next party on the 22nd of March. That we'll have, I think we're going to have a little bit of guitar and acoustic music. You never really know. A bit of open mic, bit of karaoke, and a bit of a disco. Maybe an 80s disco this time. And thank you very much, Alison, for your very kind contribution to the kitty when I was making my way home last night. Isn't it lovely when someone stuffs 20 euros in your pocket when you're staggering about? Here, or puts you in a taxi, even better. Arvo on toast. You may as well. No, okay, I'm not going to read that. I can see it's got testicles in it, so I'm not going to read it, Peter. It's a good dunker. It absolutely is. And I was very glad to find the Maria when I came here. I've made the transition to a great extent on the breakfast, and I've made the great transition from Maria to from rich tea to Maria as well. It's a good dunker. You're right. Shame you can't dunk your beard into a Portuguese breakfast anymore. Stop it. Look, don't do that, Michael, because you will be live yourself in due course on the breakfast with people semi-trolling you like that. Did you ever find out where you could get a pearl necklace in Lisbon? Just waiting for what a day that was. Just waiting for the day to cool down. A rather scorchio 36 degrees. You'll be glad to be back in the cold of central Portugal, won't you? And bright sunshine here this afternoon. May take a swim before cocktails. Look at this. The lifestyles of the rich and famous, or what? May take a swim before cocktails and snacks at 5:30. Yeah, the Far East, the food here is just so good. That's such a foodie thing to say with the extra O's there. Let's stay with the foodie theme, shall we? We've got Colin joining us at 8:20. Now, Colin, great title, Colin. Great suggestion for what we're going to talk about today. Let me just find it. So I've got exactly the words that you shared with me, as well as 200 pictures of cars. The fact that 2025 will be the year of the small, affordable electric car. Affordable car in Portugal, you're pushing it there, my friend, but let's see what happens. He looks forward to my trolling, says Michael Heron. So much, getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, all right, you're on. We'll all pile over to Good Morning España and give Michael. So we'll be working on our Spanish puns later on today. We'll be getting to training. Right. Portugal celebrates 8 new Michelin stars this morning. We're still a little bit light on the well-being, but I think we will have some Mel-being comments from Mel soon enough, which would be great to balance things up a bit. We're looking at language, we're looking at culture, we are looking at the weather and a bit of well-being as well. Let's go to the Portugal news then and see. I don't want to look at the weather. I think it's going to be the same cloudy picture, is it not? Where's this lovely little place then? This looks nice, doesn't it? Is that a swimming pool outside it, or is that a street? Can't really quite make that out. Anyway, Portugal celebrates 8 new Michelin-starred restaurants. I've got to have a sip of tea. Could you just have a look at that picture? And I've got to have a cough, sip of tea. I've got to just quickly do micro ablutions here. Hold on. Right, are you still there? Portugal celebrates 8 new Michelin-starred restaurants. Oh my goodness, that cup of tea again. That should be going with the full English, should it not? That is a swimming pool, isn't it? Outside, or a pond, a decorative water feature, perhaps. Don't want to be stumbling out of that place, do you? The international team of inspectors sounds like they're looking for weapons of mass destruction rather than good food. But anyway, the international team of inspectors who visited the country, what a job! Highlighted how chefs seek to preserve their gastronomic and culinary legacy, reinterpreting classic dishes with current techniques, never closing themselves off to new international influences, and promoting the highest quality native raw materials. And I'll tell you what, I bet all of those chefs like a Big Mac from time to time. They like a full English breakfast. They like the classics. But let's see how they're pushing the envelope onto your plate. Gwendal Pulinek, wow. That's a name to conjure with. Gwendal Pullen. It sounds like an anagram, doesn't it, rather than an actual name. International director of the Michelin Guide, I should show a little bit more respect perhaps here, also states in this regard, Portugal is on a path of growth and is gradually becoming a gastronomic destination, sort of like faint praise possibly, of reference for lovers of haute cuisine from all over the world. The chefs, I don't know if this is actually how Gwendal Pullenek speaks, I doubt it, but anyway, it seems to sum up the slight disdain whilst having to give some respect. That it's a bit like going into a high-end fashion shop, isn't it, where people look at you down their nose. I'm imagining the high end of food is similar. The chef's commitment to the country is absolutely revealing in the north, a greater attachment to traditional recipes than in the south, where we can, typical of the north-south divide, where we can speak of a wonderful encounter between regional Portuguese flavors and those with a more international taste. On the other hand, sustainability continues to gain ground, not only in the local sense, but also in terms of excellence, which always seeks to discover for the traveling diner the best raw materials from different regions of the country. That's honestly the way I've read it, that writing, it just sounds a bit world weary, and that is the overwhelming top notes I'm getting, I'm afraid to say. Come on, let's get excited about the grub, shall we? Rather than writing a poem. All restaurants with 2 stars renew their distinction. Well done, Portugal. The renewal of all 8 of the 2-star distinctions in Portugal by the Michelin Guide is considered to be a sign that Portugal remains stable in its offering. This all sounds so restrained. The 2-star restaurants in Portugal are Alma in Lisbon. Oh, how do you say that? Antiquum. And Antiquum, I'm going to go with in Porto. Belcanto, that's a good old favourite, isn't it, in Lisbon? Bobby O'Reilly's talked to me about that. And I think, did we go to one of his restaurants, one of the chef's other restaurants? Casa de Chá de Boa Nova, it was obviously memorable. Leça de Palmeira, I go to Palmeira many times a month. Not that one, though. Il Galo d'Oro in Funchal, the Ocean in Push, the Yeatman in Vila Nova de Gaia, and Vila Joia in Albufeira. The inspectors recognized 8 more restaurants with this distinction. With them, there are now 38 establishments that shine with the coveted and demanding Michelin star. How about that? So Arc in Lisbon, Blind in Porto. I'm going to come back to that because it sounds like an awful theme for a restaurant. Grenache in Lisbon, Marlene in Lisbon. She was in the news. That's her first star, I believe. Marlene Vieira and her team. Oculto in Vila de Conde. Palatial in Braga. Vinha in Vila Nova de Gaia. And Yusso in Lisbon. And the Green Star with 5 new bib gourmands, whatever that means. Anyway, it's all looking very good, suffice to say, for Portugal. And the haute cuisine of special mention, or what grabbed my eye, was Blind in Porto, a restaurant called Blind. It's an awkward start. Is it blind tasting? Anyone looking to be surprised and looking for a different gastronomic experience, here is an excellent opportunity, say the Portugal News. Who wrote this? This is a good. Oh, it's TPN. No one's taken the credit for it. I think they've brought together a number of news sources to make the story, and no comments as yet. I'm looking forward to those, and I've got a new piece in the Portugal Resident, actually, why people leave Portugal, and I'm urging Inish Lopes, the editor there, to put comments, to open up the comments. I know it creates another job, but it's great fun seeing comments and seeing so many grumpy people commenting and having a giggle about their grumpiness. With all their first world complaints, generally speaking. Maybe that's, I'm not really selling it, am I, to Inish with that description. Okay, so Blind in Porto, the proposal by award-winning chef Vitor Matos, defended daily by chef Rita Magro, who received the Michelin Young Chef Award in 2024. Wow, rising star there, Rita Magro. Pays homage to José Saramago's work, Blindness. It's a novel by Portuguese writer José Saramago, and seeks to play with the diner through a surprise menu. Comfort food, it doesn't sound like it is over there. Let me just take that off the screen as we eagerly anticipate the arrival of Colin. And I wonder what his favourite breakfast is, and I wonder if he's into... I mean, is he a meat and 2 veg man, do we wonder? Or would he like to go to these Michelin restaurants? Yes, I'm talking about you, Colin. Welcome behind the scenes there. But José Saramago's work, Blindness, This is a book, okay? His novel Blindness is a metaphor for moral depravity, filth, and social collapse. Sounds like Colin's comic routine that we heard recently. So, would you want to go to a restaurant whose influence is a novel which is a metaphor for moral depravity, filth, and social collapse? I suppose after a couple of beers. Sounds all right, doesn't it? I wonder what the food is like. Okay, we got a well-being tip. Awesome. Okay, Hugh is also here. Hugh from Visu. Great to see Mesa de Lemos has retained. Do you know the word Lemos was on my mind yesterday? I was thinking, where have I heard of Lemos? It was with you, Hugh. Mesa de Lemos has retained their star and a new star in Santa. Very good. I'm starting to think about replacing my 15-year-old car. You've come to the right place for Go Motoring Portugal this morning, but don't want a car that will beep all the time. All cars beep all the time, don't they, Colin? We're going to find out about that. And he doesn't like that either. And try to take over. And I'd like a real handbrake. The campaign for real handbrakes has started here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Your well-being tip today: walk, look outside, look for your favorite color car. Yay! Flower, tree, house trim, anything. Train your brain to search for something you enjoy. And my eyes are feasting upon Colin Ross Jones, and that I do enjoy, and we'll bring him onto the screen so you can all do that in just a moment. Like training a muscle, it won't. Who doesn't like to train their muscle first thing in the morning? It won't change overnight, but it will have a cumulative effect with time. How lovely! That stimulates your reticular activation, doesn't it? Is that what it's called? Especially important if you're feeling a bit low. Who is not one of the seven dwarfs? Is it a translation of what is that? Are we going back to the novel there? This is Diane. There is food available. That sounded like an announcement, didn't it? In the supermarket. This is Diane. Could somebody go to aisle 7, please? We need to clear up over there. There is food available in the lounge of this hotel virtually all day, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. We will be the size of a house when we get home. Yes, you may well be. If you see A380 coming into Lisbon groaning, it's Pete and Diane returning from their Far East holiday. Yes, reticular activating system, the RAS, this morning there. I'm keeping him waiting. This is very rude of me. We're going to switch over to the Good Morning Portugal part of the show. Thanks again to the good doctor for becoming a member this morning. Dr. Dean, good to welcome you here. And Coach Turner, Felicia Quinta, back to coaching for the first time in 4 weeks this evening. Good luck with that. Looking forward to seeing the athletes. I realize they're actually part of my social network. How lovely. And Gemini was in before that. Rude comment on the beers again, Munson, which actually turns out to be true. Let's play the theme music. Last time I had a good old drink and I was in the company of Colin. Where's Go Motoring? Here it is. Olá Bom Dia. How are you this morning? You're looking quite stern this morning. Are you not happy about those Michelin star awards?
Michelin star.
I thought you'd be a meat and two veg man.
Well, it's an excuse to charge phenomenal prices for a tiny little bit of food.
Oh, you cynic! You cynic! Now,
no, it's not cynic. A little drizzle of something around the side and a little bit in the middle, and they get a Michelin star for it.
Who doesn't like that first thing in the morning?
I'd much rather have a really good meal at somewhere like the Flavors of India, which will never get a Michelin star.
Okay, all right. Colin has spoken on this message. You don't like a little drizzle?
Depends on what.
Keep up with the pelvic floor exercises, and let's talk about what was you were talking about the affordable small EV peasy. I was going to call it.
Yes, I mean, as one of your comments earlier on was someone asking about all the bongs and things. It is going to get worse.
Yes.
In 2025. Yeah.
Cheerful soul this morning.
In
Right, okay.
2025, they now have a thing called ISA, which is actually a speed recognition, and that will bong if you're going over the speed limit.
All right.
Apparently, you can turn it. You will be able to turn it off on some vehicles, but can you
Jeez.
imagine sort of doing here in Portugal? You go through a 50 in the villages,
Yeah.
which I agree with. I mean, it should be 50 kilometers an hour in a village where people are
The most.
walking and dogs and cats are wandering across the road,
Yep.
and people are backing out of their drives, thinking that because they've done it for 20 years and never been hit, thinking that it's okay to do that. So
Yep.
50 kilometers an hour makes sense. But the problem is, it never tells you when you're out of it. So you'll be going along the main road and the car will be bonging at you, saying that you're still in a 50 when you're not.
Yes. Right. So
Or
Pam,
there's one example on the way to Caldas from here, where it suddenly becomes 70 for 20 meters, and then it goes back to 50 again.
yes. Okay.
So
So right.
it's a slight
So
problem.
okay, and the idea of having bongs in cars, that will attract a certain kind of interest. But what we're talking about here is that are those alarming sounds of every kind. Not only that, but
Yeah.
the car trying to keep you in lane by grabbing the steering wheel
Well,
off you like a ghost.
The laws now are this new ISA, which is the speed limiter.
Yeah.
There's autonomous emergency braking. There's a black box data logger. It'll be in every car, every
Gee.
new car.
Yeah.
Emergency stop signals, which okay, that's a good idea.
What
Driver
does that mean?
fatigue.
What are emergency stop signals? What are like a better way of
Well,
showing that you've
it's like
broken down?
apparently in my car, if you really put on the brakes for an emergency stop, all four indicators will flash. Hazard warning lights will
Well,
come
that's
on.
a good idea. Yeah.
It is. I obviously don't drive it fast enough because I've only ever had it on once.
That's hard to believe. Okay.
Driver fatigue detection
Really?
system.
Well, for some of us,
Yeah.
that'll be going off as soon as we get in. Oh,
Yeah. Then lane keep assist
yeah, we don't like that one, do we?
and a built-in breathalyzer in some countries.
It's like having a mother-in-law in the car with you all the time, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, why do they let a driver drive anymore?
Exactly.
If
Well,
this is
that's what they're priming us for, Colin. They're priming us for driving becoming so unpleasant that we let the robots do it, right?
yeah. And to be fair, I suppose I'm a small percentage of the driving population that actually likes driving.
I
Most
don't think
people
you
hate
are.
it.
I don't think you are. It's a great country for driving in, and somebody, I can't remember who it was now, but someone said the other day, it's still like the 70s. Well, it is in many ways, isn't it? But the idea of going out for a drive has been made so unpleasant
Yeah.
in so many countries that people don't
Yeah.
do it anymore. Whereas here in Portugal, it is nice to go out for a drive, isn't it?
Well, we had a nice little drive up the mountain, didn't we?
Don't we? Do we? I don't mean that sort of drive. But yeah, those of us who love our motors and its many and varied uses are having the joy taken out of it. And Pam, leading to comments like this, I better get a car soon before they're all awful. Yeah. How is that? Has he got a driver frustration sensor?
But if you really do want a car without any of these sort of things, then you need to look pre 2019 because those were the last of the real drivers' cars. As you know, my car is a rally car for the road, and the one biggest complaint I have of it is it's got electric steering. So you should drive by the seat of your pants. Okay, you can still do that, but electric steering is not for me, not
No,
for a
no.
true driver.
Right. Every Sunday they
Good.
take their cars. Is Hugh talking about us? Maybe I don't know.
No, he's talking. Where Hugh lives, every Sunday would be a wonderful drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got video footage ourselves, haven't we? I was hanging out the back of a car.
We certainly have. Yeah.
And I've missed that. Watching
As a
our
matter of
theme
fact,
tune, I'm thinking, it's been too long since we've
as
been
a
out testing a motor.
I know. Well, as you know, I tried yesterday to get the Renault 5 electric
Yeah.
car, which
Okay.
a good response, but except that we can't take it to La Rinia because that's the Torres Vedras dealer that
Oh, it'd be on someone
has
else's
that
territory. Maybe the electric system will
Yeah,
stall it on the border and we can't drive it any further.
something
Right.
like
So,
that.
or we should maybe start a dealership, you and I, pre-2020 cars. You could be Swiss Tony. I'll be the
Yeah.
young fella, Paul. And you can be saying things to me like, selling a car, Carl, is like making love to a beautiful woman. We can have it'll be fantastic. It'll be the most wonderful car dealership where people can buy old cars that don't talk to you or this is the most annoying thing, isn't it? Backseat drivers, people grabbing a steering wheel. Now the cars are doing that themselves. We should specialize in old cars that don't do that to people, I think.
Yeah, we could Minder too.
Yes, this is okay. Let's talk more after the show. This is coming together beautifully. Hit him, Carl. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm taking you're being I'm the Minder and you're George, whatever his name was.
Well, I'm the
Arthur
oldest,
Daly.
so yes,
You're the Arthur Daly, aren't
I'll
you?
have to be I'll have to be
Happy,
Arthur Daly.
more happy memories. Pontiac car. He didn't have automatic on his. Did he have a Rover or a Jag? Arthur Daly. What was his car?
Oh, Jags.
Got to be Jags, isn't it?
Jaguars.
Pontiac Carlin Gumpers.
Yes.
Decent
XJ
8-degree
Jaguars.
Belfast. At 12 degrees by mid-morning, few lovely days, and well, the end of February is. I mean, it's tomorrow, the end of February, isn't it? Don't forget, it's a short month, this one, and Peda's in as well. Good morning to you, Peda. Good to be in communication with you, and sorry it took me so long to get back to you yesterday. Right, these vehicles, then, shall I bring them onto the screen?
Yep.
This is the shape of things
absolutely.
to come. Annoying as they might be, this is the shape of things to come.
It is my prediction that 2025 is the year of the small electric car.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't see why you wouldn't be right about that.
Let's start with that
Small cars aren't as small as they used to be, though. To be fair, are they?
No, because of all these regulations.
Oh, I see. Well, okay.
The safety factors. The cars are much heavier now, and of course, most people want to go into electric. Can you start with the red one?
Yeah, I've got a lot of pictures here, Colin. So I don't. If you say show me the Tesla now, I won't be able to do that. But I've just got a lot.
No problem. You just start with that one.
Yeah.
In the order I sent them to you is fine, but
I'm not sure they were downloaded in that order.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem. Right. This one on screen.
Interesting headlights.
This one is the new Fiat.
You still there? I heard you say new Fiat, and then that's as far as it went. Driving is a unique experience in Madeira as well, says Aviva Ocean Dweller. I hired a car in the UK. Oh, you're back again. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this car on screen now is the new Fiat Grand Panda.
They're calling it
Grand because they're still making. They're called Grande Panda, because they are still making the original, the current Panda, but they're making this as a slightly larger car, which is purely electric. And along the side, it's actually got imprinted in the bodywork the word Panda.
Oh, I say that's a nice touch. Yeah, okay. And not
so
where
if you had a black and white one, it would look really nice.
Oh dear, right, okay. No, there you go. There you go. Yes.
And again, under the £25,000 or euros,
even in Portugal,
level of car. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're saying they're making cars a little bit more affordable, possibly. Then.
Well, here's an example. This is the Ford Puma, which in the UK was the best-selling car for 2024. And now this is the Generation E Ford Puma, which is a pure electric crossover. It's basically a Fiesta on stilts. The Fiesta
Well,
is no
yes.
longer built.
Do you know what? I was for the first time in many years. I did a double take in the car park of the supermarket the other day, and I said to Mrs. M, "Is that the new Fiesta? That's a nice looking car." Thinking that the Fiesta had its latest upgrade, and I looked on the back, and it was a Puma.
Yeah. That's exactly what the car is.
Okay,
It's Fiesta on stilts.
Morning, Bobby. By the way, how about the Equus SUV? Are we looking at that this morning?
Yes. No. Well, that's not. That's the top of the range Mercedes.
Come back next time, Bobby. Have you just got one, Bobby?
Yeah, we're only on.
I think he needs to come and get us and take us to one of those Michelin restaurants we were talking about earlier on. Although Colin's not interested, he'd rather have a fry up somewhere.
No. The whole point of this is this will be the more affordable, personal, private purchase, because most of the electric car sales, which particularly in Portugal, have been bought by companies, because the incentive for them to buy an electric car means that they can buy an upmarket, dare I say, Tesla, for the same sort of price as they could buy a van for their business.
Yes, right. Yeah, right.
So the incentive was there. Now this one is a Hyundai Instella.
Of all the things you might say about this, Colin, sexy is not one of them, is it?
Well, it depends on people's looks, isn't it? I mean, to some people, that's a very attractive,
really,
4x4 type looking vehicle.
Oh,
it's
come
narrow,
on! It's not got bull bars and stuff. No, it's a grandma car, isn't it? I mean, no disrespect to grandmas.
Well, yes, it is a grandma car, but as I said to you, I'm a small percentage of people who particularly like driving and look at a car the way it looks and want to look back at it when I'm walking away from it in the supermarket car park.
Yes.
A lot of people just want A to B, and this is going to be a very popular car.
Okay, all right.
Because of its price.
Now that's more like it. Is that part of this
now
lineup?
Yes, this is the electric Mini, but when Minis first came out, 1959, in 1963-ish, they joined forces with John Cooper, and John Cooper was making Formula 1 race and Formula 2 race cars.
And
they started a thing, and they started calling no. And they started calling the cars the okay, I'll answer that in a minute.
Okay.
They started making the Mini Cooper, and it came from the John Cooper.
Okay,
and then,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and when BMW took over the making of Minis, they started their life. They started bringing in the John Cooper Works cars, which were basically a Mini with the Cooper S treatment. So it was upgraded, much more powerful, better brakes and everything. And now this is their first John Cooper Works electric Mini.
Yes, that looks great. And I'd like to take you back to the comment I made earlier about how cars have got bigger. When I was at Bennycar recently, Colin, I went and had lunch. We were out driving in the countryside, not far from Benedita. So I said to the family, "I'm going to take you for an unusual lunch now." So we went to the Bennycar cafe for lunch. They couldn't compute it. They couldn't get. and it was great because I was recognised from my first visit there with you, and we had lunch there. It was really nice, and we'll go and do that. We'll have a meet up at Bennycar because it's great fun. And I saw an old Mini.
I have a date.
I
have a date for that meetup.
Okay.
Let me find it.
I've forgotten about it. But the seeing a Mini in which me and 5 other friends would get into to drive from Surrey into central London, I was thinking, how did we even survive that journey? No wonder our parents were worried about us. I mean, it was like a phone box. Although we also used to get into phone boxes, 6 of us, I think, as well as probably as a party trick. But thankfully, cars are bigger and safer, as you can see. And I mean, this is a fantastic looking car. I think when Heather joins us, as she's about to, Colin, we need to bring her on and have the 3 of us go through this lineup of cars, because there's some sexy ones.
Sorry,
and we need
it's
to
taken so long.
No, it's fine. It's great fun. I imagine Heather will be happy to take part in this. Have the same agency who got hold of the Jaguar got hold of Citroen as well, I ask you, looking at this one?
Well, there you go. To be fair, that is the car magazine Autocar have a very, very talented car designer working for them.
Yeah.
And this is their rendition of what he thinks it would look like, the new Citroen 2CV.
Yeah, it's a bit too much like a German war helmet, though, I'm afraid to say. As nice and as pink as it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's an awkward shape.
It will be very...
It matches Heather's microphone. So, Heather, is it okay with you to bring you on now and for you to continue to have a look at this lineup of vehicles? Let's give you a nice round of applause. Heather, good morning to you. Boots on the ground, Portugal. How are you?
Hi, good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear. Lovely microphone.
Okay,
It fits in with some of these vehicles we were looking at. Are you happy to be on the jury of this panel looking at the latest?
Of course. I'm always going to give my opinion.
Oh, yes, of course you are. Well, you're most welcome then. I don't like any of these.
Morning, Heather.
Ma'am.
Morning.
I don't like any of those.
I'm only seeing one so far. It kind of looks like a twisted VW Bug.
Yeah, that's right. There's some Germanic design going on in there, isn't there?
Yeah. I'm not. It's like Range Rover in the front with the lights, and then it's not in love with that.
I should have gone to the bagel and pizza place. What's this, Heather? There's a bagel place in Benedict. What? Do you know it?
I've been there. Yes. Gosh, Pamela, what's the name of it? I can't think right now. Something with the V.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, it was quite good. It was quite good. I really want to go there now because I'm on like day 4 of no carbs.
Oh, so just the mere mention of a bagel is having your intestinal flora respond in a most sort of voracious way, I suspect. Yes. Sorry about that.
Okay. Oh, good.
Cafe Vesta, it's cool.
Yes, Vesta. See, I had the V, right? Cafe Vesta in Benedita, which is just like 15 minutes east of Caldish, and quite good. Nice owners. It's got a cute little patio. It's got parking. So go check it out.
All right. So some great questions from Bobby. Good to see you this morning, Bobby. Is there anything you wanted to say about this Citroen visualization, Colin, before we move on to the next one?
No, it's just that some of the car designers have realized that people quite like the nostalgia of the old design cars.
Well, absolutely,
and, this is one example. We're coming on to 2 or 3 more examples. There you go. You couldn't have put it on at a better time. This is the new this is the new Nissan Micra, the Nissan Micra. And again, to be fair, this is the rendition by Autocar, which means that it's their particular, from the information they've been given, that's what they think will be the new Nissan Micra. And again, you can see it's more retro than it is modern.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, and James, I could never work out how pea soup green was a likable color. Although that looks all right. I quite like the look of that Nissan Micra. What do you think of that, Heather?
I like it. It's cute. Yeah. But my first car was my second car was like a Honda hatchback. So I always like that shape. So this is reminiscent of that. It doesn't look retro to me, but I guess that was a long time ago.
Yes, retro is an interesting word, isn't it?
And I love vintage, and I see what you mean about that previous design, but it's kind of like a vintage bastardization. So it's kind of like the new Broncos. Like, no, go back to.
All right, a big question from Pam. Do people really want that? We're going to find out. This is a risky time to be taking chances in the car industry, isn't it? Because if your car does not sell, that's a serious problem now, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
End of the production
It is
line.
it is definitely a risky time, because car manufacturers are being told to have cars that are eco-friendly and don't give out too many nasties out of the exhaust. They've spent over 150 years perfecting their engines, and all of a sudden they're being told you must go electric or hybrid or hydrogen, and they plan 5 to 10 years ahead. So what we're looking at today is only what they were thinking about 2 years ago.
All right, you're right there. Have you dropped your device? Oh, okay. Your earpiece fell out. That's a disaster when you're in the broadcasting business. Okay, you're right there.
I had a weird experience. I was just in Phoenix, right? And
yes, welcome back.
Thanks. And I took a Waymo. Do you know what a Waymo is?
Is that a euphemism for going to the restroom?
No.
You need a Waymo. Bear with me.
Oh, that one looks a little.
It's an RV.
Fancy.
Okay, what's a Waymo?
A Waymo.
RV, isn't it?
Supposedly a Jaguar. Only it's nothing like a Jaguar, if you ask me. And it's a driverless vehicle. It's one of the test sites in the US for the driverless, and it's really trippy. It's
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, bit of a highlight of the tour.
It was kind of scary, but it's funny because I wanted to mention it today anyway. So it's kind of funny you're on the topic of cars.
Oh, excellent! I'm enjoying this chat with all of us here about cars. And if there's time, Colin and I will teach you how to say Jaguar properly as well, Heather, on this car.
What am I saying wrong?
You see, you don't even know. Jaguar. No, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
We have a claim on that. It's mutual. It's mutual because there are things I'm sure we did not say correctly from the other side of the pond.
Well, of course, because there's tons of stuff you don't say right.
Like aluminum.
Exactly. Aluminium. Like, who says that? Oh, a whole country, I guess.
Well,
if there's time, we'll come back.
Whilst we're talking about aluminium or aluminum,
well said.
There is. I hate to mention this because people seem to really dislike this person, but Tesla has. Has just announced the battery for the future, which is aluminium ion. It will charge in 10 minutes. It will do a million miles
for one of your smiles
on the same battery, with no degradation at all. So, and this morning I was looking at a video of a 216,000 mile Tesla Model 3 that had been used as a taxi. And apparently the battery had 88% left in it.
Wow.
Okay, that's interesting. And you can wrap your sandwiches in it as well, maybe as well as aluminum.
And all
it is handy.
All it needed was new suspension bushes, and they were going to put new brakes on it just because they felt they should, but the maintenance cost on that car was so minimal.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting.
Thank you. So we are up front, and then you don't have to spend money to take care of it. Yeah. Nice.
No.
Yep. That's one we're looking at.
We are living in the dark ages with ICE cars, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, unless China and India are on board, it really doesn't matter because we make this much of a difference in all of that.
Oh my goodness, this is a far-reaching conversation. Can I bring your attention? No, I'm not. It's not a criticism. It's true. But then there's so much to say about these things, isn't there? However, let's come back to what I think might be a Corsa. I don't know why I think that, but
that's right. Yes. It's Opel.
That's
Opel.
Yeah, I like that.
It's known as Vauxhall in the UK. That is the Corsa. Again, it's the autocar rendition, so it may look slightly different. when it comes to
Corsair,
production.
like a Corsair type relation.
Corsair is a small hatchback of the Opel.
The Corsair was that was a
okay.
Ford. That was a Ford. The Corsair.
I have no idea.
The Corsair was a Ford
Okay.
based on the early Capri.
Yeah.
So this is cute and a convertible. I love. Okay, nice.
Okay, very good. Corsair there, made by Vauxhall or Opel, depending on which way you look at it or where you live. Another green car. Thank goodness some color is coming back into the car market. What is this?
Yeah. This is the new Renault 5 purely electric car, which got car of the year for this year.
Yes, we like this one.
Really?
We do like this one. And I realise I've had one of these, the old ones. I've had a Renault 5, I've had a Micro, I've had a Corsa, I've had all of these cars pretty much.
Wow. They all just look the same. That's the sad thing.
It's true.
And would you believe this car is sold out completely in France? They couldn't believe that they basically sold 6 months stock in a month.
Well done, France, and well done, Renault there. Although Pam's not a fan with her single word review there.
So Renault is what you're saying when you say Renault.
Really? Oh, you do this on purpose now, Heather. She's doing it on purpose.
Somebody has to represent North America and
Renault. Renault, my dear, ma chérie. It's Renault, isn't it?
Yeah,
Colin?
I don't do French.
Okay, right.
But the interesting thing about this car is everybody who's reviewed it raves about it.
Well, we can't
and
wait.
It'll be under €30,000.
Okay, interesting
That's
times
nice.
in the car market. That is nice, isn't it? All right, so we're going a bit bigger here, up from the Renault 5. That. Hold on a minute, but it's a Renault 4.
Oh,
it's a Renault 4.
Yeah. That looks a little more SUV-esque, which is nice.
I mean, that's probably not the best picture, because if we saw the front of it and the back, you would recognize it as the old Renault 4.
Okay.
Which means it would look like the previous cars.
Yeah, Renault 4s. You do see a lot of old Renault 4s in Portugal, don't you? And I think it's a fine-looking car. It's kind of it fell out of fashion, a bit like flares, I suppose. It came out of fashion and might be coming back again. It looks better than it used to, in my view.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Please don't advertise American. Is that a new car?
Hey, American ignorance.
He's American. He can say that.
No.
He can say that. Right. Okay. Right. So the Renault 4. What are the reviews on this? Are people liking it, Colin?
Well, it's not actually produced yet. I mean, this is coming out shortly.
Yep. Great observation though, Heather. It's more looking SUV-esque, isn't it? And they won't be happy to have a Dacia logo in the background there anyway. Oh, what's happening here? The Fiat 500, another workover, makeover.
Yes, exactly.
Look how tiny those tires are.
Yeah, true. We're a bit concerned it's tiny, but that's the whole point of a Fiat 500, isn't it?
I don't mind tiny. I don't know. The tires look like something I put on a bike.
No. I mean, it's,
Hey, don't ask my opinion unless you want it.
It's a very fashionable car for the ladies.
Is that right? So the Tiers of Qashqai. This would be perfect for it. It's a perfect Qashqai car.
Oh, I'm not a Qashqai girl. I gotcha.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So we'll move on then. But another interesting color. It's not exactly gunmetal grey, is it? It's more of a, I don't know how would you describe that color?
It looks kind of blue.
Yes, it's a blue. It's a metallic blue. But basically, Fiat have said they will not anymore make boring colors.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Ooh, that's sexy. What is that?
Now, this is the new Cupra. Cupra is the supposed sporty version of Seat.
Okay.
Cupra, right.
So it's Spanish. Yeah. Cupra, Cupra.
Okay.
Right. Tommy Cupra.
It looks like it's smashed in on the side. Is that just me? No, it does. It literally.
No, it does.
Smashed.
It does go in. It does slightly go in, but I think that's the graphics from behind that are reflected on the.
Not helping, is it?
On the bodywork.
I thought I was drunk for a minute.
This is called the Cupra Rebel.
Right.
Rebel.
Yeah, that's
Rebel.
attractive. Just the name of it, isn't it? So Cupra, and that's
Yeah.
a sporty
So
brand of who? Seat.
Seat, yes. So it's part of the VW
Seat.
group.
So
Okay,
seat.
and
again,
made seat. That's right.
Well,
Made across the
like
border.
you have people from Canada and America and whatever, and they don't know what Seat is. And what if they're trying to research this car? Then how do you spell Seat?
No, fair enough. And I'm sure you get these
Seat.
inquiries from your clients.
S-E-A-T, but it is pronounced Seat.
And we're loving Heather's comments. You must do this again. Right.
I can wake you guys up. Come on.
Yeah, we're having a nice song.
That's cute though. There's something I like that, although I prefer non-smash door.
Yeah, the non-smash door. That shouldn't have an MG badge on it. That is so boring.
That's
for
an MG. Are you kidding me? Ugh. That's like the Jaguar thing I wrote in. What a joke.
An MG4.
That
as a matter
is
of
not
fact,
an MG. That's a sin. I'm sorry. Don't call that
it's
an MG.
selling extremely well in the UK. Because of its price, because of its specification, and that this is a long range version.
So they're not buying it. They're not buying it for its looks, are they? What's the specification that's having it so popular in the UK?
Well, it because it's 26,000 and it has lots of things that £40,000 cars don't have as standard.
Okay, all right,
that'll do.
Value. That's a surprise for me.
The fact that it's actually built in China, owned by a Chinese company. People, as I say, people who aren't into cars don't consider MG to be anything other than a British long-standing company.
Yeah.
When I moved here, I was looking at cars, and I looked at, there was a lot of Alfa Romeos, and I was like, that sounds amazing. And, and then they had no power, because I was focused a lot on horsepower, because I actually like to have, a little bit of get up and go. And it was sad, because imagine having an Alfa Romeo and it goes 3 miles an hour. So horsepower is important. So yeah.
People say you're not a petrol head unless you've owned at least one Alfa Romeo.
So there you go.
Apparently no petrol head here. So
okay, all right. And we didn't talk about the BYD here, which I guess you might say again is the ultimate boring car. Boring your drive. Yeah. Is that what BYD stands for?
Build your dreams.
Oh, okay, of course.
Build your dreams. Top Gear is what we call. Nice. Yeah. It's kind of station wagon-esque, which is very functional, and I like that. I've actually always liked something about that concept. But it's got more height to it, a little more SUV-like. So I'm okay with that. But it's big though. That would scare me on these roads.
Okay, yeah, okay. This is the sort of how one might approach it as an American here in Portugal. I don't think we've got time to talk about that, but we should do it again sometime. Colin, do you have a sort of summary? Your prediction is that we are entering the age of the affordable EV here in Portugal, right?
We are, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, the press will tell you that electric cars are not selling.
Yeah.
Because the early adapted and their cars were either leased or through a company, and then they become worthless because in the last 5 years the electric car batteries have got so much better and everything. So the press are really going on about that. But at the end of the day, each car manufacturer, for every kilogram of CO2 that they're over the stated amount from the EU, they have to pay, I think it's €95 per kilogram.
Terrible time to be a car manufacturer. Right. Is Kevin having a disco upstairs, Heather?
Is he what?
Is Kevin having a disco upstairs? I'm getting music.
I'm getting music too. No, it's not Kevin.
Is it just in our heads?
It's not me. I don't know where that music's coming from. I was thinking that too.
Right, fine.
No, I really don't.
We've got more questions for you. If we could just have a couple more minutes of both of your time, I'd be grateful, because we need to get a quick roundup from you and how things are going, people coming into the country. Colin, go on.
Yeah, I can answer that one.
Yeah.
Yes, cars are safer. The reason that they crumple and dent so much easier than old cars is that they are crash zones. So the energy from an accident is being taken by the bodywork, and the actual shell of the car, which is from the windscreen posts to the back, should stay in one piece. So the rest of it crumples to take the force of the accident, so that the passengers are safer.
That makes sense. There you go. And Antonio concurring with that. They are smashed easier, but that's the way they absorb the force of impact. It's your physics, isn't it? Keep the occupants safe. Very good. Bobby, and feel free to chip in after Colin has given the perhaps the Colin Ross Jones view. We'll go to the Heather Binder opinion on this as well. What does Colin recommend as a middle of the range car then? Looking a bit above and beyond the car we just looked at. I
personally think Kia have the best cars for the mid-range.
Okay.
Just don't buy it. Just don't buy locally.
Yeah, I still haven't made that video, but I've got a fantastic rant from you about Kia Caldas Terrenia. Have they been back in touch with you?
Yeah.
I think that relationship might have been a little soured.
They were never in touch with me when I ordered a car from them.
All right. Okay, don't get started. Heather, middle of the range. When your American clients say, look, I'm coming over, I want a Ford Mustang or a great big Chevy or something like that. What do you have to say to them?
Those really don't tend to be my clients, I would say. But yeah, I would say, there are people that drive big cars like this one on the screen here. Definitely. I know many people that drive cars that size, but they just keep driving them because there's nowhere to park. So you see, there's Mary driving around, and there's Mary.
He's been driving for three days now.
Yeah. I don't really get into models. I have a VW Golf because I had a Jetta before in the US, and I like that, and I was familiar with it, and that made sense at the time. And I needed something, low to the ground for my mom at the time, and all of that. But there's definitely a lot of good options out there. It's just, but the key thing to me is that you need to pay cash. Financing is like not a thing here with cars. At least not if you want to do anything that makes any sense with your money. And as an expat, you can't even get financing. It's like super, 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 super difficult. So that's actually my key thing, because a lot of people will move here and, put money into certain places. And if you don't know that, it could be really scary if you're expecting to just be able to finance a vehicle, and you can't do that. So you can buy a house easier than a car.
Yeah. Okay. So what we lost Colin. I think he went off to do a deal. Arthur Daly was selling a car while we were.
There he is.
So what? Yes. What to buy then, Colin? The Kia. Which one? Oh, no, look, we've lost his.
He's
oh no, he's back. Oh, I think I muted you because you're
telling me my mic is muted.
No, I did that. Because I wanted to keep the nature of your call confidential in case it was a massive deal you were working on.
No, it was the dentist. Okay.
That could be a massive deal sometimes. Right. So which one? Kia, which? What?
The Kia. Well, the EV6 and the EV4 are two very, very good vehicles.
Yes. Okay.
And Bobby should go and drive them and see what he thinks of them himself.
And we'll come with you. Better still, we'll come with you.
Yeah. Many people like the Polestar, but when I drove a Polestar, I wasn't at all impressed with the steering on the car. It wasn't very nice. So.
Yeah. Okay. Another question
the
for you.
Polestars have been selling well.
How do the Portuguese always
and the other Skoda Enyaq?
Oh, Skoda.
Yeah, the Skoda Enyaq.
All right. As a proud Skoda owner, I would also
SUV, electric SUV. Yeah.
All right. very
Skoda
good.
seems like a good car.
Yeah.
Skoda. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a Skoda fan, a convert. I'm very
Which-
attached to mine.
One of those
Colin-
is made on the VW line. Is it Seat or Skoda? I forget.
They are in
No,
bed with each
what
other.
Skoda has the newest factory within the VW group. So anytime that they start
So
a
it's
new
Skoda.
platform, it's made first by Skoda in a
Yeah.
newer factory than anybody else has got. So it tends to be better quality.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And more importantly, then, do you need to finish sorting your dentist out there? Or are we good?
No, I'm just
Okay.
about to tell you that anybody who's interested in new electric cars should visit the e-car show in Lisbon, which
dates
goes
for us.
from Friday the 23rd to Sunday the 25th of May.
Okay. All right.
That's the e-car show, which is purely electric cars on show. It costs €10 to get in.
Very good. Thank you for that. So what's the date for that, Colin?
May 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
In Lisbon. And when are we meeting at Benacar?
29th of June is their classic car open day.
Okay.
29th of June, did you say?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll get.
Okay,
we'll get
remind me.
along.
I want to go.
And we'll record you looking at cars.
The answer to Bobby on the Six Nations is obviously Irish, because I'm half Welsh, half Irish.
Okay, very good. Not too difficult an answer there from you. What about Heather? Heather,
No.
who's going to win the Six Nations, Heather?
I have no idea, but it's definitely not the anti-Semitic Ireland. Thank you very much. But it's someone else. Sorry.
It's his drink. Okay. Yes. Nicely done.
No offense to my Irish friends out there. Plenty of those.
Too late for that, I think. Anyway, go on. Yes.
Well, they love me.
Right. Okay, but you don't have a view on that. Are you a big rugby fan?
I don't even know what that is. It's rugby.
Okay. But that never stopped you having an opinion.
I didn't even know who was in the Super Bowl until I was flying close to that date, and then I started seeing all these people in the green and the Eagles and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay.
That's it's a very, very interesting comparison. Of course, the Six Nations is just like the Super Bowl, isn't it, Colin?
Sure.
Well,
and I didn't know who was playing in the Super Bowl.
It's a proper sport. It's a proper game.
Oh, a proper
They don't
sport.
put padding on. There's no padding.
Right, folks, last words from both of you then. A really nice full house this morning. Lots of people watching. Andero says, my daughter has a 3-cylinder diesel Kia Picanto, and it's fab, which sounds like an Italian dish to me as well. Sounds like a Dakota bomber. I like in the sound
Kia
of that.
Picanto, spicy, right?
It's a Picanto. Yeah, and by the... Go on, Colin. Bobby just popped in for a moment, and I think has enjoyed the toing and froing this morning on the Good Morning Portugal show. Last words then, ladies first. What's going on with Boots on the Ground Portugal? You must have had a massive spike of interest. Yes.
Yeah, it's insanely busy. That's for sure. A lot of Americans having a rough time, so understand that. So yeah, we're just working as hard as we can to get people through the system. We've been doing really well, but of course there's always changes, and now they want a bunch more financials and stuff like that. And you know, there's just always the latest and greatest, and they don't announce it. It just sort of happens. And so, you know, they announce certain things, but other things they just sort of start making changes just to, I don't know, mess with people. So, but we got a 30-day approval out of New York, which is amazing.
Well done.
Actually.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how she rolls. That's how she rolls at Boots on the Ground PT.
Yeah, well, I can't promise that, but we definitely have very clean files, and we definitely help people all the way through the process. I think I want to move to Portugal, all the way to you have your residency card, you have a driver's license, you have your health number, all the good stuff. So we offer free chats on our website if you're looking for assistance with visa processing and all that good stuff. And we have awesome reviews on trustpilot.com.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you for being here. And thank you for I didn't know that's how it was going to be, but we must do that again. We must have the three of us on the screen reviewing things again next time.
I'm not sure Colin agrees.
Colin also gets excellent reviews.
I'm sorry we've taken most of your segment. Heather.
I think
Oh,
Heather's enjoyed herself.
all
Heather's
good.
enjoyed herself. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm easy. I'm easy. So I actually wanted to talk about the Waymo and stuff. So I got to do that. So that's cool.
Okay.
And it's
Excellent.
no Jaguar, whatever, however you say that. It's no 68 Jaguar like from Harold and Maude, which is my sort of the roadster. You know, I'm a roadster girl.
An old Jaguar, which is how one says it.
Jaguar. How do you say it?
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
No, not Jaguar. Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Nearly.
Aluminium.
Stop it.
I like how aluminium sounds, though.
Yeah, you do. Cool. You've got a really good grasp of that. Jaguar, we're going to have to work on. Okay. Colin, it also has great reviews, as I was saying, helping people to buy cars here in Portugal. Very satisfying. Oh, yeah, there you go. Jaguar. Write that down, and we'll try.
Jaguar.
Yes.
Jaguar.
By Jove, I think she's got it. Right. Last word from you, Colin.
It's great to be here again.
It's great